Okay, I'm back. It's another Sabbath. It's the same church I was at last week. And every month when I come to this church, I will do this Facebook Live. Today I'm showing you the other view so you can see the congregation side of this church. Last week I talked to you about ecclesia, how it is a concept about believers, not about architecture, about people, not about structure, physical structure. However, when you look at Paul's writings in particular, he compares ecclesia to the human body. Now, for a long time, I wondered why he compared it to the human body. What was so special about it? Why that analogy? And it's one of the long chapters in the New Testament, 1 Corinthians 12, and a little bit of it in other places. And then it struck me, as I read Paul slower and more carefully, that he's saying that the church is just like the body. The control center is the head, and the head is Jesus. So nobody can control other people in the church. Nobody can control the whole church. It's only Christ that can control. But there are some factors in this body analogy. One factor is this: every part of the body is necessary. This idea that the gifted people, the talented people, that they are the ones that we should highlight in church and so on and so forth, that is not a Bible idea. It's definitely not Paul's idea. Now, if everyone has a part, then it means that nobody can sit idly by in church. The old idea of a pew warmer. Somebody who just comes to church, he sits there for a few minutes, listens to a sermon, takes part in the worship, and then goes home. Second thing is this, that all these parts are so well integrated that if something goes wrong with one small part, the whole body can feel it. During this past week, I had a very unusual kind of headache. It kind of ran on this side of my head. At first I thought maybe it had something to do with my teeth, but I don't really have much teeth problem. Was it a toothache that's causing the headache? And then I realized maybe I pulled a muscle by sleeping wrong the previous night, and that kind of stiffened up everything here. And yet, because I'm having this headache, my mood changed a little bit. It affected my appetite because you didn't want to really use your jaw. And so all these parts are integrated. You cannot take even one part out and the body will be fully functional. Okay? The third thing that Paul says, using this body analogy, is if every part has a role and if all the parts are interconnected, then it means that for the body to be healthy, all these interconnected but specialized parts must function together. The idea that some people are more important in church, some people are less important. If these people don't come to church or don't help, it shows. If these come, and it doesn't matter if they are there or not. That idea, again, is against Paul's concept of the body. Now, if we apply this analogy carefully, then it seems that many of our churches are like a person who is sick, spends time at the doctor's office or at the hospital or at the clinic or taking paracetamol or whatever to try and stay healthy, versus a body that is naturally healthy. Proper sleep, proper diet, proper rest, just the right amount of exercise and whatever, and able to easily overcome illness. Okay. Now the reason I told you about my headache is that I don't usually get headache because of how careful I try to be with my lifestyle. But that night I must have slept wrong in some way and kind of tweaked a muscle or even maybe a little nerve here. And Paul says that it doesn't have to be a major failure for the body to be less functional. It could be just a small part that goes out of sync that makes the body sick. And so this is the best way to understand church. We all need each other. We all must work together. And when we all do that, then the body of Christ is a whole and healthy body. And so I hope when you have time to listen to this, I know many of you may actually be in church right now, but this is a good time for me, that you will think about this. if you are a part of a church, think about what that means to you personally, to your role in that church, to your participation in that church, and to the spiritual concept of the body of Christ. So I wish you all a really happy and peaceful Sabbath, and pray that the week ahead will be a good one for you. Shabbat Shalom, and God bless.